How's it going, guys? It's Gian here with Tracy from Sante Grace. And today we're just going to delve deep into what she does, why she does it, and hopefully give you some valuable information based on her experience. So, Tracy, tell me, what is it that you offer? What are the products and services that you do? What is it?
So I have a company called Sante Grace, and we sell plus size clothing. We retail, we wholesale, and we make it all here in Los Angeles.
Okay, awesome. So it's plus size you mentioned, right?
Yes, plus size. I just say plus size luxury clothing because most of our stuff is made from luxury textiles like silk, hand tooled leather, Japanese denim. We really try to show out.
Got it. So then plus size, which I know a lot of you ask about plus size. How do you choose plus size? Do you see a problem? Is there something that you noticed that was lacking? Because I'm already getting a ton of questions about it and not enough service providers out here, So.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'm a plus size person, so I wasn't going to make clothes for skinny people.
Right.
But there's just a white space in the market. 67% of women in the United States are a size 16 or larger. So we're the majority. Yeah. So if your store is popping and you're selling clothes, 2 to 10 or whatever, and you want to grow that, the easiest way is to include plus size. Yeah. The other thing is there's not enough choices. Most plus size is made in China, made abroad. The sizes are wrong. The patterns are like very haphazardly made. So the other thing that we did is we don't just make, I always say we don't sell clothes, we sell confidence. Mm-hmm. Because if you're a woman and you're like entering the workspace, or, you're trying to get a promotion, or basically like you want to feel like that girl, right? Like not just wearing a pair of leggings and a sweater. You want to love what you're wearing. You want to look in the mirror and love what you see. That's where Sante Grace comes in.
Wow, I love it. So in addition to the brand, to the label, you also help people develop,
get started.
Get them started.
Yeah. So if you want to manufacture plus size too, we don't gatekeep at all, just like you. So all somebody has to do is reach out to me. We can help you get set up, introduce you to factories that have low minimums and are experts on plus size, pattern makers, graders, cutters, everything that you need.
Wow. So basically the whole nine, right? It's the retail end for all retailers out there. You want to fill up your store with quality LA made plus size clothing. This is the place. And if you also want to learn how to do it, she will also teach you how to do it, as well as you mentioned some workshops or things of that sort, right?
Yeah. So when I got started, there wasn't anybody out there, right? Yeah. So I went to Parsons. Before I started doing this, I worked in the fashion industry intermittently, both as a salesperson. I worked for a textile manufacturer, a converter. So I came to the game with a little bit of knowledge, but there wasn't one class that you could enroll in that would teach you like how to design the clothes, have them made, then once they're made, how to sell them, and how to run your back end. It just didn't exist. So now for people, I took like 16 classes and pushed all of that together. So now I know what I'm doing a bit. And then we just make that opportunity available for anybody who wants to do it.
Awesome. So she's going to save you a ton of time and money. So tell me, how do you get into this? How did you how do you end up here? How does Sante Grace come to be, or your inspiration for making clothing?
So my inspiration is my grandmother, who, by the way, her name is Grace. So Sante Grace is like Saint Grace.
Awesome.
And when she was a young woman, she got married very early. She found herself in an abusive relationship, and she's trying to get out, And at that time, she has no education. She has 5 kids. She doesn't know what to do. Just to, challenge herself, she started making, clothes from a Vogue pattern. Someone saw the clothes, asked if she could make, the same dress. And so she ended up having this like little cottage business and making dresses for plus size women in her community. And she eventually made enough money to change her life.
Wow, that's awesome. That's incredible. So the name carries on with her effort. And then you mentioned that she also taught you, right, how to sew.
Yes, and she was the person who taught me how to sew. So I've always been plus size my whole life. And my grandmother was like, you're going to have to learn how to hem your garments, or, how to alter your garments so that they look good on you, Tracy. So
Gotcha.
even at like 7 years old, I'm making my Barbie clothes. I'm learning how to make them better. Like my grandmother might be making something and she gives me a yard of fabric and challenges me to make a certain kind of dress that maybe we'd seen in a magazine or whatever. And when I would, rise to the challenge, or something, of course she had to help me sometimes, she would give me money. And
Got
I
it.
knew that I was doing well because I'd be playing with my girlfriends and they're like, where'd you get that Barbie
Yeah.
whatever from?
No, and yeah, and like imagine how hard it must have been to find anything even before, right? Because it's hard to
It's
find now.
impossible.
Yeah.
It's
So you took
impossible.
it upon yourself. It's like I love that attitude of like, you know what, we have this problem, we're gonna fix it ourselves.
You know what? I don't believe, like, when somebody doesn't make room for you at the table,
Hmm.
don't complain about it. Make your own damn table,
Hmm.
right? Like, I'm a professional. My day job is I'm a talent agent, and I need clothes to do everything, to go on set, to go to Cannes, to go to the Academy Awards. So what am I going to do? Just complain to designers that they're not making clothes for, fat girls? No, I know how to make clothes,
Yeah.
right? So if I want a tuxedo, I'll make a tuxedo. And lo and behold, people see my tuxedo, it's fly,
Yeah.
and they want to order it from me. That's a whole business. So
No, I think that you're touching up on something that I think is a core principle. I think for any endeavor, any type of creative endeavor or entrepreneurial endeavor that you may and the audience may want to take upon, right? I think the fact that you know how to make like the clothing by sewing it yourself, right? For me, I'm a graphic designer by trade. I know how to design stuff digitally, right? Draw things, right? I think it's highly important to pick up one of the core fundamentals of any industry you're in and be able to do something either with your hands or be one of the core members. Like say, if you open up a restaurant, like be the chef, right? Know how to cook, because you can hire people that know how to cook and all that. But I feel like there's this the love and passion that one has does translate into
the garment
the
or the,
garment
the
or
end product.
yes, in
Yeah.
a way that I don't think it would. I would argue that it wouldn't if you hire somebody else to do that part of the job. I would say maybe you can outsource most things, but not that core.
To what you're saying, you can't outsource love. My
Mm-hmm.
dad used to always say, you can't teach height. You can teach skills, but the emotion that comes from what you produce
Yeah.
yourself, it's you can't manufacture it. And I make clothes that I want to see people in, that I want to see myself in, and clothes that I think are going to make them happy, that
Mm-hmm.
answer a question for them. Like, yo, if you're getting back in the dating market, what do you want to wear? Right?
Right.
Like, hey, I want to look feminine. But I don't want to look, have my boobs out all over the place,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so we pour all of that into not only our design, but our pattern making. And what that means is most companies, like when you go to definitely overseas fast fashion manufacturing, they take one size and then they just make each subsequent pattern larger.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But bodies don't do
Yeah,
that,
bodies don't do
right?
that.
So when we make a 1X, literally we have three different models who are a 1X come in, and we try them on their different bodies
That's awesome.
to make sure 1X looks the way
Yeah.
I want it to. And I'm looking at not just how it looks, but how the girl feels.
Yeah.
Like if she's shifting around and I can tell she's uncomfortable,
Yeah.
we're getting footage of her looking in the mirror at herself. And when people react a certain way, I know, like, oh, we got a hit.
Yeah, got it. So it's like that extra step that obviously takes a little bit more time, but it is more like I can tell your passion's in it. You want to, how you feel, you want everybody to feel, right? And one can argue that in a more assembly line type of environment or just more turn and burn, you sacrifice those things. So I think it's important for people to know that all your stuff is made here, right?
It's all made here. I know everybody who sews every single item of clothing that we produce. Like our leather jackets, if you look inside of them, most of them have a signature from Adolfo, who makes all of our leather jackets. And literally, it's almost like a family thing. I'll bring the leather in, and he has a other job. Okay, he does not have time to make these jackets for me, and I'm constantly like pushing him, making his wife laugh, like finish the damn jackets, Adolfo, like bringing food there. So everything is made with a lot of love, and yeah, even our sewers will come back to me and they want to know, how did a suit do, or how did this dress do, because they enjoy producing the clothes.
I love it. No, this is great info from someone that really, I can sense it. I feel it. You know, you might be feeling it through the screen there, that she really is passionate about what she does. And I think it should start there. It should definitely start there. And then it'll become a lot easier down the line when you are the one that makes that first t-shirt, that knows how to sew, does that fundamental aspect of clothing, right? Of clothing, or making of clothing. And so you also, for the guys out there, you also make can help them out with making oversized plus size clothing.
Plus size, absolutely. So if you're a guy and you want to do something, you want to do plus line, call me. I can hook you up. I think there's a lot of like streetwear just seems to be oversized anyway, right? Guys like to wear their clothes kind of big, a little baggier. And so if you're already a big guy, I know, you know, you're having trouble finding that t-shirt.
Yeah, like you said, it could be good on the shoulders, but then the bottom hovers a little bit. So we need, that extra.
Like you got a flat stomach, right? Yeah. So when you wear like a 1X, 2X t-shirt, it looks different than your boy who's a 5X. Yeah. He needs something that's going to slide over his stomach, that's not like tight pulling. You can see the bottom of his belly at the bottom of the shirt, like. And I'm telling you, there's a market for it.
Right. Look, she's dropping the gems right now. So, I mean, get to it. You know who to contact now. It's going to be made here. We all vouch for her. So that's awesome. But you're right. There isn't, I know for a fact, as of the filming of this video, there isn't an oversized heavyweight tee at the very minimum for plus size males that fits good all around. Non-existent. And I know this based on feedback that I get from a lot of people asking for it. Non-existent. So there you go. If you're waiting to start now. Talk to Tracy and you can begin your journey. So
he's telling you it's not on Alpha Broder, because when I started, I wanted to just do some like cutesy sweatshirts or whatever, and they didn't have them in the bigger women's sizes. So I was like, oh, I'll get them in the guy sizes. It didn't exist.
No, it's a great market that you're. Again, I was so super excited to do this because it's such a big. Like we just mentioned, more than 50% of women. I would love to see the data for men. Because I bet it's going to be around there as well. So, you know, we have to find a problem and go fix it. That's the cornerstone of entrepreneurship. So, and then now, lastly, to wrap up, right? What is, you know, based on your experience, some do's and don'ts, or what are some things, some advice you can give to people that are either about to start their clothing, or you know, are already in their journey in order to succeed, or just, you know, to grow, right?
So so much information I got from online and from people like you. Really, the first thing I would say is go slow. Don't try to change the world overnight, right? Educate yourself, watch videos, read books, take classes, go slow. Nothing wrong with going slow. Next is, you are where you're supposed to be. It's really interesting. Like, it's business, and business is kind of black and white and hardcore or whatever. But the things that I would give people are very mental and spiritual. That's where the game is.
Wow.
Keeping your head together. So go slow, educate yourself. Where you are is where you're supposed to be, because overnight things can change, right? And then do good. Like, concentrate on doing excellent work and being an excellent person. All business is about people. Okay, it's about numbers. It's about.
She's dropping all kinds of golden nuggets. I'm about to faint. This is like,
it's all about people. Preach. So in my other business, literally, I make millions of dollars for people. I sell some of the television shows that you're watching. I represent some of your favorite actors, all of that. But it's all about people. If The other side does not like Tracy Christian, nothing happens. If the other side doesn't like my client, it doesn't matter how talented they are or how hot they are at the moment, right? So this business, when you got to convince somebody to make something for you, I started with nothing. I started with that $600 what a week check, maybe it was every other week that the government was
the
giving,
EDD,
it was giving people. So I was lucky. I knew a lot of fabric vendors downtown, but for people, I had to go people like Ray and be like, okay, I want to do these joggers. I want them to be made out of silk. And it was because he liked me, I got a good price. Because he liked me, that he would call and be like, yo, don't buy that just yet. Some silk fell off a truck. I'm going to be able to do this. Or when people like you, they'll change the world for you. And they'll vouch for you from other people. Right? When I didn't have the money for something, he would be like, all right, I got you. I could spot you 2 weeks. Right? In business class, right? What is that? That's net 15. Right? So those are the things that only come because you're a good person. You know, because you showed up and you were nice. You bring somebody coffee. You're just decent to them.
No, that's so many golden nuggets. I hope you're taking notes or rewind it. I'm taking notes. So notice that everything she said are not things that it's not a certificate you go get or something that you to some degree can go purchase. These are all intangible traits. They're character traits that all of us possess, but you got to work them, take them to the gym, to the mental gym, right? You have to put them into practice, and then the more you put them into practice, the better you get, right? Like, I arrived here, she has a whole buffet back there, and it's just me. So it's like amazing to see that level of hospitality. And, I think as a human being, what happens is reciprocity. You want to reciprocate after. You're like, thank you, you did this for me, I'll do this for you. While being detached, right? Not like I'm expecting you better do it, but you just do it out of goodwill, and then good things happen. She's totally right. And that all starts and ends in the mindset, like I love it. I think that is potentially the best advice I've ever received. I'm taking that on right now. I need it a little refreshing too, because the world out there is not telling you these things, it's more like, get this so you can be that, or like, maybe these titles make you the person, but I think there's the person first, character traits first, and then the results are, come to fruition. But thank you so much. Where can they find you? Where can they find you on social media? I'm going to put it in there as well, but can they come here? Can they stop by your office?
Don't stop by my office. Don't stop by my office. But you can find us at santegrace.com. That's our website. You can find us on IG. Feel free to what is it when they
DM,
right? You see, I'm old. I'm not up. So to DM me on TikTok, any of those things.
Gotcha.
We have a YouTube page, all of it.
Yeah. Any questions, reach out to her. She's here as a resource as well, and, to help everybody grow. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you for schlepping over.